In 1997 and 2005, I drove Old Fall River Road, the original road in Rocky Mountain National Park, built between 1913 and 1920. Let's see. It's 12:30. We're 264 miles into the trip. We're in Rocky Mountain National Park. We're at about 8,000 feet, and there ain't nowhere here either. We're gonna go up Old Trail Ridge Road, which is a one-way gravel, steep, winding, narrow road that used to be two ways at one time. This will be fun. The road starts at 8,550 feet and climbs to 11,800 feet over 9 miles, from forested water-level ecosystems to the treeless alpine tundra. Now keep in mind that this used to be a 2-lane road. Now if two cars met up with each other, there are these little pull-offs like this that you had to pull off onto so the other car could pass going the other way. Well, here's the problem. To get to the edge, it's pretty far down. We're at mile 1 of Old Trail Ridge Road. It's a beautiful road to drive. Both it and Trail Ridge Road are in my top 8 roads. It was the first time I had a car above 10,000 feet, and I have proof. At the top is the Alpine Visitor Center and Fall River Pass at 11,800 feet. It allows extraordinary views of the glacial valley you just drove up.
You see where those rocks are sliding down the side of the mountain?
Oh, no, we're not, Charlotte, we're not going to go out.
Yes, you could go Myers to Milk.
No, that's not, no, the point is not.
I gotta go to the car and get the battery. As you figure out what's not so, this is what's passiert.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll be
It was my first time at near 12,000 feet and was surprised at the lack of oxygen, the harsh sunlight, and the tinny sound through the thin air. And both times I drove back down toward Estes Park via the Trail Ridge Road. Trail Ridge Road is the highest continuously paved road in North America, and it is a spectacular road to see the park. Also known as US 34, it connects the east entrances to Grand Lake in the southwestern portion of the park. In 2008, we knew we were going to hit the park in the afternoon, so we were going to stay the night in Estes Park and just go into Rocky Mountain for a few hours before driving through the park the next day. But there was a problem. Unbeknown to us ignorant tourists, it had snowed. They closed Old Fall River Road for the year and closed Trail Ridge Road just past Menny Park's curve. We were ready to bypass the park if the road didn't open, but that morning at the visitor center, we were told it would open about noon. We got to the place that was closed about 10 a.m., and we were told it would open in 15 minutes. It was more like 30, but it was worth the wait. 115,311 miles, 1,084.5 on the Odo. It's September like something. Day 3. It's 10:56 Central, 9:56 Mountain.
Snowy mountains.
And yes, it snowed. The most interesting places is where the 5-foot-plus snowdrifts covered the road, but the pull-offs and trails were generally less than a couple of feet deep. We passed the Alpine Visitor Center and continued on to Milner Pass, the Continental Divide, which is 1,000 feet lower than Fall River Pass. Yeah, I'm a sucker for signs like this. And yeah, I got my ass wet sitting in the melting snow. Past the Continental Divide, you reach Farview Curve, where you can see the Never Summer Mountains, and look down the Kawanichi Valley, which hosts the very young Colorado River, before passing Grand and Shadow Mountain lakes. These are the Never Summer Mountains, where all the peaks are over 12,000 feet. You see all those brown patches? They're dead trees from a beetle infestation. I took close to identical pictures in 1997 and 2008, 11 years apart. It hasn't gotten better, but the Park Service is actively fighting back now. This is the mighty Colorado River, less than 10 miles from its source. I followed this river all the way down to the Grand Canyon in one fashion or another. It's a video that I'll put together one day. Closer to those tunnels.
We're on 40 East.
We're on 40 East, Colorado 40 East, coming out of Winter Park. 115,393 miles in the odometer, 1,166.7 miles on the trip. It's 2:39 Eastern Mountain Time, 3:39 Central Time, and we're heading to I-70 to head toward Moa. Okay, that's going to be it for Rocky Mountain National Park. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Make the algorithm happy.